Have you ever wondered about this? For some of us, just organizing a bookshelf or wiping down a counter feels so good. It brings this deep sense of satisfaction. But for others, the very thought of tackling a messy room is just completely paralyzing. Okay, let's get into it because the answer is pretty fascinating, and it's all happening inside your brain.
So, really, why? Why does creating order in our physical space have such a powerful, immediate effect on our mental state? Well, that's what we're going to dig into, and trust me, the answer might surprise you.
You know, what's so interesting is that these two totally opposite reactions, feeling instantly soothed versus feeling completely overwhelmed, they actually come from the exact same place. Yeah, whether you're a neat freak or a bit of a clutter bug, your brain is responding to the same deep, fundamental triggers. And here it is. This is the big secret. That deep-seated love for organizing, it's not actually about a desire for perfect, sparkling tidiness. It's about our psychological need for control. Think about it. When our inner world feels totally chaotic, maybe after a stressful day at work, our brain desperately seeks out something predictable, something we can control. And organizing our external world becomes this amazing way to calm the chaos inside. So to really understand this need for control, we've got to look at what's happening on a chemical level in your brain. Let's get into the actual science behind that satisfaction. Okay, first up, dopamine. You can think of this as your brain's own little reward system. Every single time you complete a small, manageable task, like making your bed, sorting the mail, even just wiping a single counter, your brain gives you this tiny little hit of a feel-good chemical. It's like a little, hey, good job, that makes you want to keep going. And then on the flip side, we've got cortisol. This is the big one. It's your body's primary stress hormone. And here's the kicker. We know that living in a cluttered, disorderly environment can actually keep your cortisol levels elevated. So that feeling of lightness and relief you get after you clean, that's not just in your imagination, it's your biology, literally reacting as your stress hormone levels actually drop. And that right there, that's the whole process. It's this simple but incredibly powerful feedback loop. You do something small, your brain rewards you with a little dopamine, and that reward makes you feel more capable and more in control, which, in turn, reduces your stress. You can see how this becomes almost addictive for some people, right? But that satisfaction loop, that's really just one part of the story. There's a deeper, much more primal reason our minds react so strongly to our surroundings, and it goes all the way back to our fundamental need for survival and, you guessed it, safety. I just love this quote because it nails the experience perfectly. See, clutter isn't just a physical thing taking up space. It's a source of constant low-level mental noise. Every messy pile represents a decision you haven't made or a task you haven't completed. And those little whispers, they create this background hum of distraction and anxiety all day long.
And this is a really important distinction to make. For a lot of people, especially those of us who feel things pretty intensely, organizing is not a performance for other people. It's not about having some impressive magazine-ready home. It's a vital coping mechanism. It's about turning down that internal noise to create a sense of safety and, finally, some inner quiet. So we know it's about control and we know it's about safety, but it's not just about that. Tidying can also be this deeply creative and, dare I say, mindful practice. I mean, think about it in these two ways. On one hand, your home becomes a canvas. The way you arrange your books by color or where you decide to place your plants, that becomes a form of self-expression. It's you in your space. But on the other hand, the physical act itself, that repetitive rhythm of sweeping or folding laundry, that can be a form of active meditation, grounding you right here in the present moment.
All right, now we're getting to the part that anybody who has seriously decluttered their space knows all too well. The powerful, sometimes overwhelming emotions involved. Because let's be real, it's about so much more than just stuff. This is why the process can feel so surprisingly heavy, or even bring you to tears sometimes. Every single object can be tied to a memory, a hope, or a version of yourself. So when you decide to finally get rid of it, you're not just clearing space in your closet, you're making a conscious decision about your own story. Just think about the kinds of things we let go of. That dress you bought for a life you thought you'd live. The gadgets you always meant to fix but never did. Gifts that represent a relationship that's since changed. These aren't just items. They are tangible pieces of a past self, and deciding to let them go is a real act of moving forward. And that's the real takeaway here.
Decluttering is a physical act of editing your personal narrative. You are consciously, physically deciding which parts of your story you want to carry into the future and which parts you're finally ready to release. It's a seriously powerful form of personal transformation.
So, when you pull all these ideas together, the need for control, the search for safety, the creative expression, and the emotion of letting go, you arrive at something really powerful. You start to realize that tidying is actually about crafting your own inner peace. You see, our surroundings are constantly sending us these little subconscious messages. A messy space just keeps reinforcing a story of being overwhelmed, of being behind. But a tidy space, it quietly whispers back to you, you've got this, you are capable. By changing your environment, you can actively, consciously shift that internal conversation. So instead of thinking of it as a chore, try thinking of organizing as an act of choice. Every item you keep, every single shelf you arrange is a decision. You are choosing to create an environment that reflects exactly how you want to feel, clear, calm, and intentional. And maybe the most important thing to remember in all of this is that it's not some all or nothing task. You build that piece one small choice, one tidy shelf, one drawer at a time. It's accessible to every single one of us right now. So, the next time you find yourself tidying up and you feel that sense of calm wash over you, don't just dismiss it as cleaning. Recognize it for what it truly is. This is your mind, your body, and your soul all aligning. This is self-care happening in real time. And that leaves us with one final question for you to think about. Just take a look around you, right where you are. What is your space saying about your inner world? What is your home whispering to you?